Now students, for today the topic we are going to start is the cancer, and we'll try to finish it in the today's class also. So we all know what is cancer. Cancer is also called as the abnormal cell division or uncontrolled cell division, which occurs without any cell differentiation after the cell division. And then there are chances that the cancerous cell may start migrating into these various other portions of the human body through the blood or lymph, and once it starts migrating it becomes a serious situation, because this will develop such similar type of growth in the other portions of body. So now cancer, what is cancer basically? Cancer is the abnormal and uncontrolled cell division, and then these cells have the property of invading and destroying the surrounding tissues also. Generally, the cancer is defined as the uncontrolled growth of cell without differentiation, and cancerous cells are different from the normal cells. Now we all know normal cells show a property of contact inhibition. Let's understand, because this comes oftenly in the board exams also. So the cells, when they divide, normally the cells have a limited lifespan and they usually replaced by the new cell. We all know that cells undergo wear and tear. So old cell is gone and it is replaced by a new cell with the help of cell division and cell differentiation. Now that means the cells division and their replacement, this is all controlled in the body. But once this property of contact inhibition is gone. What is contact inhibition basically? When cell makes contact with the other cell, imagine a cell dividing and divides and get formed. Now it is surrounded, for example, by 6 cells. Now once the cell has made contact with the 6 cells, it will stop growing more. That means a limit has come. Now once the cell makes a contact with the other cell, it will stop growing more, and this is called as contact inhibition. That means now the surrounding cells will not allow the further growth of the cell which is surrounded now by 6 cells. Now in cancerous cells, what exactly happen is this property of control is gone. That's why it is mentioned here. You can see that cancerous cells show no contact inhibition. So once the cancerous cell make contact with the other cell, it will the cells which surround the cancerous cell will not be able to control. So there is going to be more and more cell division. So once it is surrounded by 6 cell, it will still continue to divide. So now there will be 18 cell, maybe 24 cell. It continues like this, and the whole area becomes a tumorous growth or extra growth, abnormal uncontrolled growth. So this uncontrolled growth is called as tumor, also called as neoplasm. Neo stands for new. So because it's a new growth, that's why it is called as neoplasm. So the next thing is that they do not, the cells of the cancerous cells, sometimes they do not stay at one place. They start migrating in the body. So the cancerous cells do not remain confined to one part of the body. They penetrate and infiltrate into the adjoining tissues, and then they will start detaching from the main area from where they are developing. That means the site of their origin, and they start traveling with the help of blood and lymph, and they travel to distant sites in the body. And this property of starting more growth, abnormal growths in other portions of body is called as secondary growth, and NCERT calls it as metastasis. So there are 2 properties you need to remember, because it comes oftenly in the board exam, that what are the properties of cancer. So you will say the cells of cancer have the property of uncontrolled growth, and they do not that means they do not show contact inhibition, and the normal cells will show contact inhibition. And then second property, the normal cells of body do not show metastasis type of concept, but cancerous cells are able to dislodge from the area from where they have originated and start moving into the other areas of body through blood and lymph, and start developing more growth, abnormal growths in the other parts. So there will be lots of tumor developing throughout the body. And this property of migration is called as secondary growth. NCERT says metastasis. So I hope these 2 points are clear to you. Now next is to understand that the study of cancer is called as oncology, and then tumors are of 2 types. Now remember, tumor means that uncontrolled, abnormal, without differentiation type of growth is called as tumorous growth. Now tumors are of 2 types. The first one is called as the benign tumor, and the second one is called as the malignant tumor. Now a tumor which is non-malignant is also the name for the benign tumor. Now this tumor is able to undergo abnormal growth, uncontrolled growth, but is not able to migrate. So it will remain confined to the site of origin. So that means it has the property of no contact inhibition, but it does not have the property of metastasis. So it will remain confined to the same place. So that means it will have limited damage done to the body. And remember, those tumorous growth which are not able to migrate are not called as cancer. So they are non-cancerous type. So that means tumors can be cancerous, or tumors can be tumor can be non-cancerous, and tumors can be cancerous. Now the second type is called as the malignant type, which is the cancerous type of tumors. Now these tumors they have again 2 properties. One property is that they show no contact inhibition, and then they are able to spread by the property of metastasis. So these are the one which cause major damage to the body. So then how can you define these concepts? I hope you can convert these things into statements that tumors are of 2 types, non-cancerous and cancerous. And that means every tumor is not cancer, but all cancers are tumor. This question can come to be justified. You have to explain in this manner that all cancers are tumorous, because a tumor has a common basic function, common feature, that is this uncontrolled and abnormal without differentiation cell division. But every tumor is not going to be cancer, because if the tumor has the property of spreading by metastasis, then only it is called as cancerous. Otherwise it would be called as non-cancerous.